Hey Sajada, can you hear us?
Not clear.
Yes. Yes, we can hear you now. Dear Sajada, it is time to listen to the Dhamma. We humbly invite you to preach the Dhamma for us.
Okay, wait, please wait. Okay, please wait. My battery
Yes,
is low.
yes, Sajada.
Hello, are you here? Can you hear?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. My battery is low. That's why I changed the battery and the mouse. So before we start our class, let's recite Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay. Last week, I went to Manali and Sakai for the for donation of the earthquake victims in Manali and Sakai. But that's why I was absent last week. So I was sorry for that. Last week, previous week, we discussed about the five aggregates. We introduced the five aggregates. Among these five aggregates, I have already explained about the Rupakkhanda, the aggregates of the matter, and within a khanda, the aggregates of the feeling or sensation. So we need to understand clearly about these five aggregates because our life is composed of these five aggregates. So when we meditate, we need to know these five aggregates clearly because the attachment we attach to these five aggregates. We normally attach to our five aggregates. We attach to the aggregates of the matter. That is why we have clinging on the matters. When we know clearly about the matters in our body, then we can focus on these matters. These matters are always changing. They are not permanent, and there's nothing to be attached on the aggregates of the matters. That is why we need to know the aggregates of the matter first, and then we need to know the aggregates of the feeling or sensation, whatever we call. This feeling is also in our body. We may have good feeling or bad feeling, pleasurable feelings or displeasurable feeling or neutral feeling in our bodies. Whenever we experience one of these feelings, we can understand this as the feeling. And the feeling is not permanent. Um, permanent. And this is also impermanent. Come and goes, come and goes. When some bad feelings arise in our body, this bad feeling also is just temporary. It's come and go. It's come and go, rise and fall. Arises and disappears right away. So we can clearly understand the feeling in our body. In the same way, when we experience the pleasure feeling or good feeling in our body, that feeling is also impermanent and it is not everlasting in our body. It is a temporary. It is coming and going, coming and going. So that is also impermanent. In the same way, when we experience the neutral feelings, this feeling is also impermanent. We should know the impermanent nature of the feeling in our body. When you understand those feelings are impermanent in our body, then whatever feelings may arise in your body, you can be patient with the feeling, bad feelings or good feeling, whatever feelings arise in our body, then we can stand with these feelings. We can be patient with these feelings. Because of the feelings, we don't get angry. Because of the feeling, we don't get you know, um, pleased or we don't we don't get pleased, something like that. We can easily understand the nature of feeling. That is why, because of the feeling, we cannot the defilements cannot arise in us if we cannot understand the nature of the feeling in our body. Then because of the feeling, sometimes the attachment arise or clinging arise on the feeling, or sometimes the anger or the uh, anger or bad temperament arises in us. That is why to prevent such kind of defilements, we need to know the nature of feeling. The nature of the feeling is, very clear, arising and disappearing, coming and going. So when you sit meditation for some time, some feelings will come out. Then you may be aware of that feeling just arising in your body. Then that feeling also uh, goes away sometimes later. In this way, you come to understand easily the nature of the feeling. That is why we need to know the feeling in our body when you practice Vipassana meditation. And the next aggregate is the aggregates of clinging. The aggregates of perception. Perception. In Pali, it is called Kanda, the aggregates of perception. Perception. That is also very important when we practice meditation. In our body, we have perception. Perception we call sanya. Sanya, that means giving the name on something or someone. So whatever we see, we give the name, that is senya, and we remember whatever we see. So the remembrance or the naming of those things we have already seen is called senya. Senya. So in our daily life, when we open our eyes, then we see something. Then when we see the man, then our perception defines. We see the man. When we see the woman, our perception defines. That is the woman. When we see the dog, our perception defines. That is the dog. Automatically, we remember and we give the name in our mind on whatever we see, whatever we see. So this perception is also very important when we practice meditation. For example, when we feel suffering, then we give the name it, or we feel suffer. We feel suffer. When we feel pain, we give the name. I feel pains. I have painful sensation, something like that. When we feel tired, then our perception, our sanya gives the names that we are tired. We are tired. We feel tired, something like that. Because of this name, sorry, sorry. Because of this name and we feel tired, we get angry, sometimes we feel disappointed, we feel worried, and something like that. So because of giving the names, such kind of defilements arises in us. So instead of giving the name on the feelings, um, the feeling is impermanent. The nature of the feeling is impermanent. We come to directly know the nature of the feeling instead of giving the names on those different kinds of feelings. That is why the Sanyakana gives the names, whatever we see, whatever we hear, whatever we smell, whatever we eat, and whatever sensations arises on our body, whatever we are thinking, we give the name by the aggregates of the senya. Whatever we remember, that is because of senya. We have senya, we have perception. So we give the name that this is the man, this is the woman, this is the lady, this is the boy, something like that. We give different names. Those names are called senya, senya. So these senya, these names of perception arises in our body. So we have to understand the different names of senya in our body. Those different names of senya are called senya khanda. So we need to know about the senya khanda when we practice meditation. And again, sankhara khanda, the aggregates of mental formations. We translate it, the aggregates of the mental formation. That is the uh, that is a kind of the mental states like we have anger, we have greed, we have delusion, we have some kinds of hatred, we have some kinds of conceit, we have some wrong views. Such kind of things are actually the aggregates of sankhara, mental formations. All of those mental formations are led by the volitions, cetana, volitions, cetana. Because of the our volitions, our mental states change. Our mental states change. Because of cetana or volitions, our mental states change frequently. That depends on our mindset. When you see, for example, when you see the Buddha's image, the Buddha's statue, you are a Buddhist. That is why you have some kinds of faith in the Buddha's image. So that faith is good mental states, good mental formation. But when the non-Buddhists see the Buddha's image or the Buddha's statues, his mind changes in different ways, in opposite directions. He will get angry. That is nonsense. That is nonsense. The Buddhists pay respect to the heap of the brick, something like that. Why are people so foolish to pay respect to the heap of the bridge or brick or something like that? They will get angry. The object is the Buddha's image or the Buddha's statue, but our mindset changes. If you are Buddhist, you feel pleased when you see the Buddha's statues or Buddha's image. If you are not a Buddhist, you feel displeased to see the Buddha's image or the Buddha's statues. So our mental situations or our mental states change depending on our volitions, cetana, our volitions. If you have good volitions, your mind becomes good. If you don't have good volition, or if you have bad volitions, then your mind will become bad, will change into bad. So in this way, our mental formations are changing. So this changing process of mental formations are called, aggregates of mental formation. So we need to understand that in brief. We cannot explain uh, about the mental formation aggregates in wider detail in this regards. To support for the practice of the Vipassanā meditation, I just introduce the aggregates of the mental formation. In this case, if you have some kinds of knowledge on the mental aggregates like this, when you practice Vipassana meditation, you can understand, oh, that is the aggregates of the mental formation, something like that. And the last kanda is the aggregates of consciousness or mind consciousness. The mental states and consciousness are different. Consciousness is very pure. The mental states that can make consciousness pure or impure. Naturally, consciousness is very simple and very pure. When you see something, unconsciousness will arise. That is nature, the nature. That is the aggregates of the consciousness. When you hear some sounds, some voice, then ear consciousness arises. That is natural. That is natural. So that ear consciousness is, the aggregates of consciousness, a part of the aggregates of the consciousness. In the same way, when you have some smell, good smells or bad smells, the nose consciousness arises. That is natural, very pure. And when you eat something, the tongue consciousness arises. That is natural. In the same way, when you touch something with your body, then body consciousness will arise. That is also natural. When you think something, when you think about something, then thinking consciousness or mind consciousness arise. That is also natural. So the consciousness is very pure. This pure consciousness is diluted by the mental states. This pure consciousness can be kept purity by the good mental states. This pure consciousness can be diluted by bad mental states. So mental states are the aggregates of the Sankhara Khanda. Consciousness is the aggregates of consciousness. In this way, we need to understand first about the five aggregates. These five aggregates are nothing. Uh, um, uh, these five aggregates are in our body, not apart from our bodies. So when you practice Vipassana meditation, the beginning of the Vipassana meditation is breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. That is the initial stage of the Vipassana meditation. By breathing in, breathing out with awareness, your mind become quiet. Your mind become uh, become calm down. come from. You don't have attachment, you don't have anger, you don't have delusion when you are breathing in and breathing out with the awareness. When you are aware of your own breathing in, breathing out, then at that moment, any defilements cannot arise in us. You try to breathe. You try to breathe and try to be aware of every breathing in and every breathing out. At that moment, you can think of yourself. No defilements appears, arises. We normally breathe and breathing out, breathe in and breathing out. We are mindful of it at that moment, at that time. We don't have anger, we don't have greed, we don't have delusion, we don't have conceit, we don't have wrong view. Those hatred, greed, anger, wrong view, conceit, and so on, they are called defilements. Those defilements gives us trouble. Those defilements, because of those defilements, these defilements, we suffer a lot in our in the realms of reverse. In the past also, we were born in different shape of lives. We cannot know what kind of creatures was born in the past. We cannot know. No, we cannot know. We cannot know. We became a human being in the past. We became ghost in the past. We became animals in the past. We are reborn in the awful states in the past. We cannot know. We cannot know. But it is sure we had the five aggregates in the past. In the past also, whatever life we became, we had these same five aggregates. So these five aggregates are what I want to tell you here is these five aggregates are the same. The same. I have also these five aggregates. The other person has also these five aggregates. And also, not only the human beings, but also any devas or brahmas also have these five aggregates in the same way. And the animal and the body of the animal also, they have these five aggregates. These five aggregates belongs to not only people, but also devas or brahmas, and not only the human being, but also animals or ghosts or any persons in the world, any person in the world, they have these five aggregates. So we need to understand these five aggregates. And the past also, we cannot know what kind of beings we were reborn in the past, but it is sure that we had five aggregates. If you are reborn as a human being in the past, then in that life also, you have these five aggregates. Unfortunately, if you are reborn as a ghost in the past, in that life also, you have 5 aggregates. In the past, suppose you are reborn as a kind of animals also, you had these 5 aggregates. So in the past also we have these 5 aggregates. In the present life also we have these 5 aggregates. In the future life also we will have these 5 aggregates. These 5 aggregates. So that is called samsara, the realms of rebirth. The realms of rebirth. The realms of rebirth is called samsara. Birth and death, in the past life also, birth and death. In this life also, birth, and finally we have to death. In the future life also, if we have these 5 aggregates, we are sure we will have birth and death. So in the past also, whatever creature we became in the past, it is sure that we had 5 aggregates. That is why we definitely faced birth and death in the past. But we could not see the past. As a matter of fact, it is sure we surely experienced birth and death in the past life. In this present life, we had already experienced birth because we were born. We were born as a human being. We had already experienced birth. Now we are waiting for death. We are waiting for death. When this death come to us, we cannot know. We cannot know. But it is sure we have to face the final death in this life. After death, the process will not stop yet. The future life will come as the group of 5 aggregates. In the future life also, we have to experience birth and death. So, in the past also, we have repeatedly experienced the birth and death. Now, in this life also, we have to face birth and death. In the future life also, we must face birth and death. So, birth and death, birth and death, birth and death, life after life. This a long process. It's called samsara. So, from the Vidhamma, from the Dhamma perspectives, we can clearly understand the non-stopping, unstopping process of birth and death, one life after another, one life after another. This situation is roughly called dukkha satya, dukkha satya, the noble truth of suffering, the noble truth of suffering, dukkha satya, because we have to experience the birth and death, life after life. We cannot control this process. Uncontrollable situations of birth and death, we have to face, and we had to face in the past. Now we are facing this. In the future also, we have to face this birth and death. Actually, we don't need this birth and death. Birth we cannot see. That is why we are not so afraid of birth, because in the mother's womb. We cannot understand, we cannot know, we cannot experience any difficulties of the birth situation. But the situations of the birth and the mother's wombs were so difficult, so hard. So it is also suffering, suffering. The Buddha called it is dukkha, dukkha. The process of birth is also dukkha. And the process, the situation, the the death situation is also dukkha. So all of us, we all can see the death of the people, the death of animal, the death of other persons, young or old. We can see the death. But the death is also no easy matter for a sentient being. No one wants to die. Everyone wants to be long life. Everyone wants to be alive. If possible, everyone wants to be alive forever. But we cannot have this chance. Even though we want to live longer life, we cannot live as we wish. The death will come to us at any time. Unfortunately, at the younger age, some persons die. Some persons at the middle age, they die. For some persons at the old age, they die. So for the fortunate person, they have to live 80 or 90 or 100 years or over 100 years in the present days. So, but we cannot live forever. Everyone has to face the death situation, even though we don't want to die at all. So that is uncontrollable situation. So this uncontrollable situation is called a nature, impermanent. This uncontrollable situation is called dukkha, suffering. This uncontrollable situation is called anatta, no soul, something like that. So from the Buddha's teachings, we come to understand the process of our life. In every life, we have five aggregates. And the past also, it is sure we have five aggregates. These five aggregates surely experience birth and death. In this life also, we have five aggregates. Because of these five aggregates, we are sure to face birth and death. We have already experienced birth, but one day or one time. We cannot know any time. We have to face death. After the death, our life process will not stop. The new life will be reborn. But we are not sure. We will be reborn as a human, whether we will be reborn as a human or as a devas or as a Brahma. We cannot guess. That depends on our good collections or our good karma. If you do good things or kusala karma, wholesome deeds, if you do wholesome deeds or good things, then you will be reborn. You may be reborn as a human or as a deva. If you practiced tranquility meditation, samatha, and if you achieve some attainments for jhana or jhana, some attainments for jhana, then you may be reborn as a Brahma in the next life. If you have done bad deeds or demeritorious deeds, akusala, this you will be reborn as a angry ghost or as animals or in the woeful states or something like that because of your bad karma. So that is the nature of karma. Karma. The Buddhist teachings based on this karma, karma theories, we can say, karma theories. Karma theory is very simple, very straightforward. If you do good things, you will get good results in this life and after this life. If you do bad things, you will get bad results in this life and then after the next life, after this life. So the karma process is very, very simple, very simple. So in this present life, it is very important for us to do good things as much as possible. But we are ordinary persons. We are not the noble persons. That is why, as the saying goes, no one is perfect. Sometimes we do mistakes. Sometimes we do demeritorious deeds. Sometimes we do bad things. Because we are not noble persons. No one is perfect. And sometimes we do good things. Sometimes we do meritorious deeds. So in one's life, you may do good things sometimes, you may do bad things sometimes. But when you know the karma process, karma theories, bad karma will get bad results. Return to us. The bad results return to us. Good karma will give good results. Good results will return to us. Depend on our deeds. That is the karma theories. When we understand this theory of the karma, we may avoid bad actions, akusala karma. We may try to avoid bad actions. In order to avoid bad actions, we need to have mindfulness. Sati in Pali. We need to have mindfulness. Oh, this is not good. It is better not to do bad things. In this way, when you be mindful, when you have mindfulness, you can differentiate this is a good action and this is bad action. If you know the bad actions, then you may avoid because you have mindfulness. If you don't have mindfulness, you cannot differentiate this is whether this is bad action or this is good actions. Then you may try to do some bad actions. Then your karma will not be good karma. Your karma will become bad karma. So that bad karma will give results, will give bad results. If you have mindfulness, you can differentiate this is whether this is good or bad. And then, oh, this is not good. I will avoid this. This is a good action. I will do. You know, I will do good actions. In this way, you may choose good ways. You may avoid bad ways and you may choose good ways. By avoiding bad ways and by following good ways, then you will arrive good destination. You will arrive good destination. If you follow bad ways, you will arrive bad destination. If you follow good ways, then you will arrive good destination. Bad destinations, that means woeful states. Good destination, that means good heavenly states, human states or heavenly states. But whatever life we will be, we are reborn. We have to face birth and death. If you have bad deeds, you will be reborn in the woeful state. But in the woeful states also, you cannot avoid birth and death. If you do good deeds, then you will be reborn, good states, human or devas or brahmas. Even though you are reborn as a human being or devas or brahmas, you have five aggregates. That is why you cannot avoid birth and death. So in every life, if we have these five aggregates, we cannot avoid birth and death. We have to face birth and death without our wish. We don't want to get this birth and death. We want happiness. Actually, even though uh, we want to have happiness forever, we cannot get this happiness forever. We have to face birth and death anyway because we have five aggregates. These five aggregates are together with our life. In the past also, we have these five aggregates. In the present life also, we have five aggregates. In the next life also, we have five aggregates. So in order to free from these five aggregates, we have to practice Vipassana meditation by strenuously practicing Vipassana meditation. Our Vipassana knowledge become mature. And then we have mega jnana, insight knowledge. Then our insight knowledge will make us free from these five aggregates. The inside knowledge, Vipassanā jnana, the inside knowledge, only the inside knowledge can make us free from these five aggregates. Only when we are free from these five aggregates, we are free from birth and death. So the absence of birth and death is called Nibbana. Nibbana. So we have to practice Vipassana meditation to reach this Nibbana, to achieve this Nibbana. Nibbana is the absence of birth and death. Birth and death is caused for suffering, dukkha. To be free from this dukkha or birth and death, we have to practice Vipassana meditation. So to practice Vipassana meditation, we need to clearly understand the five aggregates. That is why I explained about the five aggregates as much as I could, as much as I can. But in a short time, we cannot explain about these five aggregates in a wider detail. But this brief explanation will help you to practice Vipassana meditation. Okay, time is up for this day. We better stop here. Okay, any question? If you don't have any question,
Yes, I have.
okay.
Sajada, in your teaching, you mentioned that if we have mindfulness, you can differentiate the bad action and the good actions, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So how we can reach to the mindfulness? Can you give us some ways?
Wow, that is good question. Yes, that is the basic mindfulness to know good and bad. If you are aware of something, whether it is good or bad, then you may discern that is good or that is bad. For example, if you want to kill a fish, then killing is not good. When you are aware of it, you come to know, oh, killing is not good. It is a bad action. If I kill this fish, I will have bad actions, bad karma. So that is a kind of awareness. And if you say some harsh speech to someone, if you say bad words, if you wish to say bad words to someone, then you should be aware of it before you speak. Before you speak, you should be aware of it, whether these words are good or bad. If I say such kind of bad words to him or to her, he or she will be displeased. That is why I will not say this, even though I wish to say some harsh words or some bad words to someone. That I am aware of my own words before I speak. Oh, that is not good. I control my words. and stop my words. In this way, we can avoid bad words, we can avoid bad actions, and we can avoid bad thoughts in our daily life. So to get the mindfulness, we don't need to practice any kinds of meditation, but to get this mindfulness, to get the deeper level of the mindfulness, you need to practice samatha or vipassana meditation. But in our daily life, normal awareness is enough. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sayadaw.
Anyone else?
Yes, Sayadaw. Please, I have a wonder. If we feel angry, we should not show emotion of angry. We should stop our anger. And when we feel interesting, we also should stop interesting in order to avoid the attachment.
Attachment, yes.
So,
Yes, continue. Oh, come on.
so no interesting, no angry, it means no emotion. So we have to become a robot, right?
You become
A robot,
hero.
a computer, a machine,
Machine, a machine.
Mm-hmm.
no emotion mean we become a machine, not human being, right?
Oh, yeah. So, okay, in the level of the Vipassana meditation, um, we have to control any kinds of emotions. We need to practice. When you see something, um, uh, you stop there, seeing, and when you hear something, you stop there. You stop there. You stop there by hearing. And when you have some smell, you stop there by just aware of the smelling. It is a a kind of preventing some kinds of defilements uh, not to come, not to arise in us. So, in the while we are practicing Vipassana meditation, we have to be mindful of the every emotions, as you say, every emotions, not to attach or not to get angry or not to be so much happy and so on. So we have to, practice Vipassana meditation to balance our minds, to get to purify our mind as much as possible. Because uh, you may think yourself, when you feel so angry, then how you suffer, how you suffer in your life. When you feel sorrow at that moment, how you can think of yourself, how you suffer. When you feel greedy, when you want when you want to get something or some things um, with the greedy mind, at that moment, how feel suffering in your lives. So in such kind of bad emotions, we have to avoid the strong feelings of greedy or anger or uh, some kinds of strong emotions. We need to control those strong emotions. We must have emotion, but not to become bad emotions. Bad emotions will give you trouble a lot. If you feel sorrow, that is bad emotion. So that bad emotion will give you much trouble in your life. If you feel uh, angry, so frustrated, then this bad emotion surely gives you some kinds of trouble in your life. So we need to control such kind of bad emotion. Good emotion, we can let it go. If it is not too much, but we have to be aware of bad emotion in our life. Okay?
Thank you so much, Sayadaw. Please kindly let us know if, in order to avoid envy, to avoid happiness, we hide ourselves in at home and then we stop contact with other people. We close the door and be silent. Is that correct or not?
Oh, no, not correct. You don't need to stay indoor, close the doors inside the rooms. We need to associate with the people. It is okay normally, but when you are speaking or when you are chatting with your friends, or it is okay. You just know simply. If you uh, if you say something with your friends, it is okay. You should have awareness. You should have awareness uh, on your words, own words, or on your own actions, or on the other person's words, or on other person's actions. You should be aware of, and you should control not to get angry, not to get greedy, or not to get some strong attachments. Such kind of bad emotion should be avoided. You don't need to stay indoor, close your other doors. You may go normally, you may do normally, you may stay normally, but you should have awareness. This awareness will protect you from any kinds of defilements, akusala. Okay. If you have awareness or sati, you know whether it is good or bad. You know clearly. Then you try to control your mind. You should try to train your mind so not to get angry or not to get greedy and so on. So that is okay. You don't need to stay indoor. Yeah?
Thank you, Sayadaw. Thank you a lot.
Okay, any question? If you don't have questions, we shall conclude class today. Okay, we shall close our class today by saying some praying words. Idame bonyang
Bikande
Idame
baunya
bunyang
azawakayang
aswakaya
wahang hotu
Tahan hotu
idame bonyang
Kande
Idame punya
nibanasa
Vipassanā
bajayo
Pachayo
hotu
Hotu
imam
Ima
Baunya bagang Sabah sadana
Sambasan panang
Pachima.
Pachima.
Sadhu,
Sadhu,
sadhu.
Thank you so much,
Okay.
Sayadaw, for your teaching Dhamma.
Thank you for your sharing, Sayadaw.
Be happy and happy forever.
Thank you so much. See you
Thank you
next
so
week.
much. Thank you so much for your kindness.
Okay.
Lots of
See
thanks.
you next week.
See
See
you
you
again
next
next week.
Wednesday.
All
Okay.
thanks for your
Yes.
teaching. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. I will leave now. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Anh Huệ Đức là trưởng nhóm anh Huệ Đức.